Welcome back to episode 5. I'm super excited about today's episode. Oh my goodness. So for those of you who are just joining us, this is the Modern Multicultural Wedding Show, and this is a chance where we get to showcase modern multicultural weddings and the planning process. Now, my name is Faishala Olunfemi, and I'm the owner of Statuesque Events. We're a wedding planning company that's based in the DC metro area. However, we service weddings along the entire East Coast, and almost all of our clients are of different cultural backgrounds. Now, today, in episode 5, we are diving into a beautiful Black love story, all right? Like Black love, the hashtag Black love is one of my favorite hashtags on Instagram, and today is all about that, all right? Black love and an amazing couple that met in a really fun place, in a place that we all go every single day. So I'm not gonna spoil it. We're about to jump right into, all of the interviews and the behind the scenes footage, but we know you're gonna fall in love with Paula and Antoine just the same way that I have, and I'm really excited for you to get to meet them. We're super excited, have another awesome Statuesque Events couple here. We have Antoine and Paula. They got married in May of 2019 on a very specific date, which was not up for debate. So I think we could start there, about what was so special about the day that you guys got married and what the date was.
Yeah, so it was 3 years to the date that Paul and I decided to make it official. Her and I began dating that day, so we just, talked about a lot of things happening and things moving in the right direction, and I don't know, that was the date that we chose. It was natural, it felt right, so yeah.
I would say Antoine, actually we were going to try to shoot for 2018 because I had this thing about being married in my Jesus year. When I was 33, I'm like, I want to get engaged, married, everything was happening. It's the Jesus year. And he was like, May 24th, 2019. I was like, oh, sold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus understands.
So I got an email pretty much confirming that you guys are going to make the next magazine. Sorry. So they said it should be released in October, which I I'm sorry. Yeah, so it will be in the magazine. So exciting.
Wow.
Yes.
It was a beautiful wedding.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
So
Personally, you guys are one of our few couples that the first time we met was in person. I think a lot of times people meet us for the first time on video chat.
Oh, wow.
It's easier for them or people just want to talk over the phone. But the first time we met was in person. And it also was not at one of our open houses. But you guys were just like, oh, let's just hang out. And I was like, okay, they want to come in? Okay, great. This is cool. Having people in here and meeting in person. So I remember at the end of the meeting, I was like probably 50-50 on like, oh, okay, they're gonna move forward, they might not. I wasn't sure. Like I wasn't like, okay, they love me, and I wasn't like, oh my gosh, they hate me. I was just like, we'll feel it out and see where we go from here.
Right.
So I don't know if you guys even remember that meeting, and then we had another meeting after that before we went to Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you guys remember like what you felt when you left that meeting. If you were just like, oh my god, everything is crazy, or if you were.
I think you were the last meeting because we also met with another planner and we just knew. We were like, it's Faye.
Yeah.
Like this is it. This is it. From the phone conversation and then meeting you in person, I'm like, if she's going to execute, she's going to fight for us. We're going to have what we want. Like we were outside walking, and I was like, yeah, it's fine. Let's just go with her.
Yeah. Honestly, so we got engaged, what was that, December 1st?
Yeah.
And then literally, I think we reached out to you in January, so.
No, December. I
Was it
wasn't playing.
December?
No,
Yeah.
it was like late December.
Yeah, okay. But we made our decision come January.
So that's when we met twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so I felt like we made our mind up pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
that might have felt like that. 'Cause I think we were giving you the poker face.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't know how they feel, but
Yeah.
hopefully.
I would say after the phone conversation, we were like so excited to come in. we were just like, all right, let's just walk in and see if it's the same vibe that we got.
And it was.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. All right, so after that, our next stop was Delaware. So there was a venue in Delaware that Paula was like smitten over.
It's beautiful.
And it is a beautiful venue. It's an absolutely beautiful venue.
And I was like, the wedding's gonna be here, like in my mind. I was already just like, this is it,
Right.
you know, when we visited. But I'm thankful that you guys allowed me to like show you some other options anyway. And while that venue was absolutely beautiful, I think we got a lot more customization.
Absolutely. Couldn't have got it. There's no way our wedding could have been anywhere but the ballroom.
Right.
Everything we wanted, from the customized dance floor, just everything being just red, white, and gold. Even the way you amazingly switched the ceremony. I know I wanted a church. I was like, I want a church, and it didn't work out. I think everything worked out the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
In the long run. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with our choice.
Absolutely.
I have no regrets.
Yeah, and I remember when we switched to the ballroom, I was like nervous. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? And I know, you know, I just want to say for everybody out there, like the outcome was beautiful and they were very trusting, but I also could see that there were some parts that were a little uncomfortable because when you go to, you know, a lot of times you go to these venues and they're like, oh, we do everything. Side note, nobody does everything. No one will give you a DJ, photographer, all that stuff. So there's no such thing as everything. But I get what they're trying to say, that it's the catering and everything included. But a lot of times they only give you an hour for setup. And there are all these restrictions that mean that what you see when you go to the site visit is literally what you're gonna get at the wedding, plus some centerpieces. You're not gonna be able to like transform it. And so I was really excited that they allowed me to take their wedding to the ballroom. I love working there because there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of stuff already built in, but I could also kind of see a little bit of the anguish of like, what is it gonna look like, you know? So we had sketches, we had changes.
But what made the decision to go with the ballroom a lot easier is the fact that you had the proper connections or the relationships with the people. So we were able to trust with what you were, you know, giving us. We weren't just like, well, we don't know what's going to happen. It's like, I know this person. We got a discount because you were we went to the ballroom and got what was the name of the company, babe?
Putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz. Yeah, I mean, just because they had that relationship with you and everything. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's not the
Ask
same
if you
one.
like the vase or she need can.
I love the vase.
She need to find that you love it.
I do.
And these were the chargers you picked as well?
Yeah, I think these chargers stay.
Okay.
But this is not the tablecloth, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's just inspiration.
Yeah.
I'll go everywhere you go. You know I'll go everywhere.
Check you out. Wait a minute. Yes. We got new kids. Oh.
Had hives. Like, this is how bad my nerves got. I broke out literally into hives.
I think there were other things that probably, you know, went to the hives.
Lots.
It's funny now, but it wasn't funny at the time. I was like, okay. You know, I remember I was actually like, I think I had just gotten to New York.
Yes, I was like, oh, she called me.
Yeah, I went to see my boyfriend, and I was just like, okay, I really need to take this call. It's really, really important. And I was like, I just need 5 minutes. And I was just like telling this to Paul, I was like, everything's gonna be fine. But there was one other factor that I think contributed to that. So Paula has a minister that she's very close to, and that person had to have surgery. a few weeks before the wedding, and so we were trying to see like, okay, is she gonna be better? And then, you know, like it was probably 2 weeks before the wedding, found out that she wasn't gonna be able to officiate. So
yeah, it was like trying to find a last minute someone to marry us. Last minute, it was a lot. It's like you try to plan everything, and then that was the one thing I never thought have a backup plan for.
And so, you know, I had 2 options of officiants that I'm familiar with, and you know, she went with one, and she did a really good job. It was,
yes, I love that ceremony.
Yeah, it was Ceremony Officiants is the company. We went with Roxy from Ceremony Officiants,
yes.
And it went really well. I mean, everything came together really seamlessly. Yes. It was really beautiful. I was not worried at any point, but I was a little bit stressed because I was just like, I just need to get them like down the aisle, get them to this moment, and then they'll see it, you know.
Another element of Paula and Antoine's wedding that became a little bit of a challenge was the ceremony. So I want to say like day 2 of planning their wedding, Paula said the number one thing that she wants is to get married in a church. You know, once we decided we weren't going to go, you know, there was another venue we were considering in Delaware. And once we decided, you know, we're going to have it in the DMV, she said, I want to find a church and get married in. And we did find a church. We found a church that was in a university that was nearby. But closer to the wedding, you know, Paula let me know, hey, I drove by there and I'm seeing a lot of construction. Can you take a look? So I went by, and literally it took me 15 minutes to find the entrance because the construction was that bad, meaning like the driveway leading up to the church was blocked. So there were lots of other things, and I literally had to walk through 2 other buildings just to get to the front of the church. And I'm like, no, why would you do this? I reached out to the church and to the school, and of course they pushed back and didn't want to give us our deposits. But after lots more follow-up, we were able to get her deposit back. And I let her know that, you know what, I really, really, really think that you can have a beautiful ceremony at the ballroom. She wasn't too keen on the idea at first because she really wanted to get married in a church. But I told her, I showed her a few sketches of what I had in mind, and I said, Paula, we can make your reception look like an incredibly modern church, trust me. So we came up with an idea for decorating the pews, you know, kind of creating aisles and, you know, drapery, and also kind of creating a small altar at the front, just to make the room feel like a ceremony, even though we're going to flip it into a reception as well. Make it feel like a church, not just a ceremony. And in the end, when Paula came in, when we opened the doors for her to come down the aisle, we could see all over her face that it was a win. Yes! We gotta love those moments. That definitely was a challenge because I could see the stress when Paula found out that we could no longer use the church. But in the end, I think that, you know, all the happiness that she felt when she finally saw the final result was like, it way surpassed what we probably would have even achieved in this church, right? She had her own custom church at her wedding, and that was pretty cool.
Just stressing about what everything was gonna look like.
Yeah.
And I laughed. I told you, I'm walking down the aisle and I literally almost stopped to look around because we didn't know what it looked like. So yeah, I had to walk. And I started looking. I was like, oh.
It's like, oh, I gotta keep walking. I gotta get married now.
Someone who will provide stability and security, who I will love with all my heart and receive that same love in return. I had never expected it would be in the form of someone in the workplace, and definitely not someone younger. Then to top it all, he gave me someone so beautiful inside and out. Antoine, you truly are the answer to all my prayers. You know me better than anyone else in this world, and somehow you still love me. There is still a part of me that can't believe how blessed I am that I get to marry you. In your arms, I have found my home. In your heart, I have found my forever love. You make me laugh, you let me cry. With you, I am whole. I take you as you are, loving who you are today and who you are yet to become. I will respect you for the man that you are and your position as my husband.
Now please count with me and shout with joy as they perform. We're going to count to 3. As they perform their act of first act of working together. 1, 2, 3, jump!
Watch her step down, step down.
But I always just say, design is a process.
Yeah.
It can be a little challenging because it's hard to see everything, kind of come together. It's hard to see all the pictures. I think there were other things about design that were, I wouldn't say a challenge, but we had some changes. One was, originally the costume was black, white, and red. Right, and so, we started toying with some ideas of how to incorporate black. And then I remember one time I did some sketches, sent something out, and then it was just like, okay, we don't want the black vases. And I was like, ooh, I don't know how else to put black in here. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe black menus. And it's like, oh, I'm not sure about black menus, maybe gold. And I'm like, wow, like how do I put that? Because I'm like, I can't get black flowers. So I'm trying to think of ways to incorporate black. And after a while, it's just like, okay, no black. And I'm like, white, black, and gold is great. And then there was a point where we were considering rose gold.
Sir.
I mean, it would have been amazing.
The rose gold flatware.
Oh, it would have been amazing.
Oh my gosh.
But
I was like,
it turned out perfect.
only my husband.
The rose gold, or just for context, rose gold flatware for 100 guests would have cost us $1,000.
Yeah.
An extra $1,000. We decided to go without the rose gold.
It wasn't necessary, but we indulged you.
Yeah. But we thought it through. We gave it time, and then we don't just shut down rooms. We think it through. We let everybody.
Oh yes, this room
things. We let
has lots. He had lots of
ideas, great ideas.
Ideas
to bounce off
and opinions.
But Faye would keep us in line, like, hey,
keep you in line. I think Faye could say, until the end. I was chill for most of the process, and you were like, no, I want this type of cake, I want this, I want that, I want this. I'm like, I never imagined the man I was going to marry with this much input in this day that I've been thinking of since I was little.
I like design, so sorry.
Yes, he did like design, and he did come up with a logo, which went on the middle of the dance floor.
Yes.
And so that design he came up with, and essentially, kind of with the idea, we kind of talked about it together about having trim around the edge of the dance floor. When you look at the pictures, you'll see like the edge of the dance floor was red, the center was white, and that was intentional.
The one thing that we absolutely had to have was a really, really awesome standout floor wrap. And I remember once we saw the cost, Paula was the one who was like, I don't know if we need it. And Antoine's like, nope, gotta have it. And I was like, yes, Antoine, thank you.
We thought the ceremony would be somewhere else. We were thinking, having the red like kind of all around. But when we realized it was going to be in the same place, I really wanted to keep the center completely white. That way when you look at the ceremony, the floor looks completely white, and then when you get to the reception, you see the differences. So that was kind of a change we made a little bit later because of that. But it pretty much matched the stationery, and it was really beautiful. Like it was awesome.
Good job, babe.
Thank you.
One of the things is we were a little sad to see it go at the end of the night. Seeing it get pulled off at the end of the night was sad. And I remember even Antoine also was a little sad. We saw a video that he posted just, with teardrops as the floor wrap was coming out because it was that beautiful.
And it was also funny because when we had the rehearsal, first of all, their bridal party was great. Let's just start with that. The bridal party had a lot of energy. They were funny, cracking jokes with each other, at the rehearsal. But I remember when they came back on the wedding day, they were just like, where is this?
Yeah.
They were like, we were just here last night. It looked like this. We were just here last night.
That was our reaction too.
My DJ, he was like, he's done weddings there before. He's like, he has never seen a room look like that before. I was like, wow. So that's how we are. Thank you.
So it was absolutely like, when I say it was definitely a highlight, as you can tell, we started off talking about how, you know, this is going to end up in a magazine, but it was absolutely beautiful.
All right, guys. 3. All right. No, open up, open.
For those who don't know, so Antoine's you know, Instagram handle is kind of a good description of kind of how he is. So his Instagram handle is Stay Classic, right? So that's him. He's very chill. You know, Paula is a little bit more of a firecracker, a little bit more, you know, pal, but always in a fun way. Like never mean or anything like that, but definitely like firecracker and have to chill. So Paula's like, I want my wedding to be sophisticated, and I'm like, oh. This is a word. Like we need to call Webster, you know, Merriam-Webster.
And I remember the first time I said to him, he was like, no. I was like, trust me. I'm like, it's going to be sophisticated. The ratchet is going to be like the party. Like, I don't want. You ever been to a wedding and it's just, it's so uptight and dull? No, I want everyone just to have fun and enjoy themselves.
While being in a black tie. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, sophisticated.
Sophisticated. And I would say we kind of accomplished that, right?
Yes, he would.
I don't say a word. I don't say a word. It's on my grind and now I got what I deserve. Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? When y'all know that that's the one, y'all thought it was ready. Let's go. Chasing on these niggas, so I pop my heart and spin it. Double it, yeah, that's my team. Counting on these pennies. Take care of me, casting world like I'm broke. The Lambo, my new stick around like my ghost.
I thought the speeches were really good. The best man, and yeah, I thought his speeches were really, really good. And it's funny because, you know, sometimes people are like, oh yeah, everybody's speeches are gonna be 30 seconds. And I'm like, first of all, nobody talked for 30 seconds. But secondly, the speeches weren't necessarily short, but they were very like, they were funny and they were substantial. It was easy to listen. So like people that you guys selected to speak, they were like, it was really funny.
I know, because my entire bridal party spoke, and I was just like, y'all really all want to speak? We can't just have one or two. They was like, no, because it became the DJ, who was also my man. I've known you the longest. Then my friend Dave, y'all know I technically know you the longest. I met you the year before him. It was like, okay, you know what? Everyone can speak who wants to speak. That's fine.
Yeah, and they weren't long at all. Now that I think about it, in hindsight. I mean, everybody spoke, but it wasn't
like crazy.
It wasn't crazy,
but it also wasn't like rushed.
Right.
But it was like you listened to you speak.
Paula originally had another dress. She said, I feel like a wife in this dress, right? The very first dress she had on is the one she has on tonight. And she said, I feel like Paula Ward in that dress. And we were like, you should go with this dress. She went with the first one originally. And then she got it changed. And she was like, he's gonna wanna see me in this dress. And the way, this is not even about you, it's about him. The way that he has looked at you all night in that dress, and the way that he was touching on you during that dance in this dress, that man loves you like to heaven and back.
We were both at a Phillies game, and in the 6th inning, he's like, yo, let's meet up on the concourse. I'm like, are you here again? Like, what are you doing? So every time Antoine and I greet each other, we always say the same thing. Antoine, what is it? My boy! So I said, what are you doing here? I'm like, you don't even like baseball. He's like, remember that girl I told you about at work? And I said, yeah. And he just smiled and like grinned at me and started shaking his head. And I was like, oh, it's like that. So a few weeks after that, he texted me one night. I wish I still had the screenshot, but he changed your number on me. And he said, Mike, I'm gonna marry this girl. And I was like, man, if you know, you know.
Early on stage, and I'm not going to do that again. But I'm thoroughly impressed by the staff, Faye helping getting this all put together, Paula with her special vision in her eye and helping map out this look tonight. All of you all for coming out. I mean, you had to drive some hours to get here through the traffic. We really do appreciate it coming and celebrate with us this evening. This is just amazing. I can't wait to start the rest of my life with Paula here. This is really like the good life. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. That's all I got. I'm sorry.
Just want to say thank you to everyone for supporting us on this journey to marriage. I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry. Yes, thank you. All the beautiful, same way like, the Reverend asked, we just asked you guys to support us, to be there for us, and to keep pushing us towards one another. So, yeah. Thank you.
Got money, got the fashion, the trash, I'm a beast, I'm a nigga, full of trigger, I'm playing the fuck with that, wait till the game. I'm playing good, I'm the hood, baby, never stood there, all good, gotta do the long day, on the hard day, the food in the bar, down with the blood, I'm gonna do a trick, on the dick, you find me on the beach, that's the shit, ain't nobody tell me nothing.
Now, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, next week we're going to dive a little bit more into Paula and Antoine in episode 6. But before we get there, don't forget to subscribe. Guys, if you've made it this far and you haven't subscribed, like, come on, we need you to subscribe. So don't forget to click our logo below, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click back, watch past episodes, 1 through 4, and tell other people about it, all right? So once again, subscribe to the channel and make sure that you click back to watch other episodes in this series, all right? Thank you so much for joining along this ride with us.